Yo, 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 what up? Howdy, howdy, everyone. Check, mic check. Mic check, 1, 2. Yeah, how's it going out there? Ready for round 2 of all this jazz? Couple interesting stories today, that's for sure. Plus one that isn't so much about politics, but it's bashing the elites, so that's always fun. Where's the chat? How's the chat looking there? Yeah. Okay, looks like we're good. Ward, my guy. Thanks for the bits, homie. Part 2, fuck yeah. Yeah, exactly. Part dose. Ready to go. Hello, what's up, Shannon? How's it going? Ward, you're coming through in the clutch with them bits, man. I really appreciate it. Much obliged. But yeah. And so today we had Marjorie Taylor Greene drama. We had Kellyanne Conway drama. We had two guys walking into a police station with guns on them. And we have an interesting Wall Street story that I want to touch on real quick. Great commentary. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Glad you like it. How am I? I'm good. Just I don't know, feeling a little sluggish today, but other than that, I'm all right, you know. Had a back and forth battle on TikTok about the 22nd Amendment that got absolutely no views, but other than that, no, you're not late. You're pretty much on time. I mean, your fifth comment, so you're all good. All right, we got some people piling in. Okay, so real quick before we do anything else, I gotta share this story with y'all. Like, I'm sure some of y'all know that I trade stocks a little bit. It's kind of my main gig right now, other than making content. But so I found this story. This story is like the #1 thing as far as stocks right now. So I won't get too in the weeds, but there's a thing you can do in stock trading. It's called shorting a stock. Basically, you think a company sucks, you can bet against it. You think this company is going to fail. GameStop is a company that a lot of people think just sucks. They think it's a bad business model. And there's companies on Wall Street, these hedge funds, that all they do is they short companies. They find a company, they're like, well, those numbers don't look good. I don't think this one's going to last much longer. A lot of people were shorting GameStop because, it's a brick and mortar video game business. It doesn't really look good for the future. Most video games are bought online now. It's an early 2000s business model. So a lot of these hedge funds decided to short the stock. Well, there is a forum on Reddit called Wall Street Bets. It's pretty big, especially over the last couple of years. It's really gained a lot. I think there's like a couple million people. They all got together and they decided that they were gonna pump up GameStop. And what happens when you short a stock, basically, if it goes up too much, like, you can lose an infinite amount of money. Like, you can only make so much, but you can lose an infinite amount. So what people will do is they'll cover their losses eventually. That's what these hedge funds do, which makes the stock shoot up even more. So this is just a little bit of a breakdown. This is a hedge fund called Melvin something. Melvin is down another 25% on GME, which is GameStop. That's the ticker symbol. These guys are so fucked. Check out my math. As of January 22nd, 2021, they were down 30%. They have 13.1 billion assets under management is what that means. That's 13.1 billion assets under management. That means their whole fund is made up of $13.1 billion. As of March 2020, as of March 2020, that was their assets. So just off of this GameStop, of them pumping up GameStop, this hedge fund in the last week has lost $3.9 billion. During the time I haven't like checked up on this, but this is earlier. During this time, game has increased from $46 to $46 from 17.9 to 64.8. So it's basically quadrupled for the most part. For every $11 increase, for every $11 the company increases from now on, it loses $1 billion basically. Now, at the end of today, GameStop stock price. GameStop is now, well, it was at 2 something. It is at $147. So, like, all these big hedge funds are just fucking losing their shirt on this stock, man. And it's, you know, it's kind of funny in a way because, you know, screw these giant hedge funds. And it's funny how this, like, Reddit community can just totally destroy these guys. You know what I mean? Anyway, I know, like, this is a political stream, but that's like the internet getting back at the bourgeois. Pretty interesting stuff. Or at least it is to me. IDK about y'all. But yeah, the premiere of that documentary isn't about yeah, Reddit trolling Wall Street, exactly. I mean, it gets no better. And I mean, it's even more now, because again, this was before the market closed. And then when the market closed, the stock shot up even more. Basically, they just keep buying and buying, and all these hedge funds keep shorting the stock, and then it doesn't work out, and they lose a ton of money. Because in reality, it's kind of a worthless company, but you know, leave it up to Reddit to get it done. But okay, so this starts in a few minutes. It starts at 9. But figure we go over the Kellyanne Conway drama today, which I don't know if you guys saw. And I'm really torn about this because I love it. Needed to see the little guys getting the big, yeah, exactly. Well, and like now Wall Street's scared about like shorting stock, which shorting stock is kind of an asshole move, and that's why they kind of did it. Like shorting stock is kind of a dick play. You know what I mean? Because it hurts the company. It's bad for the company. But anyway, so I don't really know how to feel about this whole Claudia Conway situation because, well, and until today, like today I kind of changed my mind about it. Because until this, like I knew obviously Kellyanne Conway is a swamp creature and probably a psychopath, because I don't think you could do a job like Kellyanne Conway's unless you were a psychopath, and I couldn't imagine being her kid. So it's got to be difficult. That said, Claudia is definitely a wild child. I mean, there's no doubt about it. She's definitely a handful. And it's got to be pretty difficult for any parents to have a kid who has like a giant social media following that like basically disagrees with them on every level. So I don't know. It's a weird dynamic anyway. But so at first, this is the first thing I saw. And in one of her TikToks, she was posting like Morse code. And that's what this is. This is Morse code messages. Like saying like help me, basically, I guess, is the gist of it, is what I got. I seen that. And then before this whole drama, we had this kind of stuff. This was like a week ago.
Fucking listen.
No,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I didn't get coronavirus from the president. Everybody got coronavirus from somebody who flew in for that event. That's not true. I didn't get coronavirus from the president. You're wrong.
You only knew what people thought of you. You don't know. Because they know you've got other problems. It'll take you, by the way. The only place that'll take you, that you weren't going to post about your family anymore. You just lie to everyone, and everybody sees it. Everyone sees it. Ungrateful bitch. And since you're lucky your mom's pro-life. Fuck you! I thought it was over! It's over! I thought we had who's following you.
Like that's her mom telling her, you're lucky I didn't abort you. Which I don't like, is just 9 levels of fucked up. I don't really care like how far she had pushed you. You're a grown woman. You don't tell your kid like you're lucky I didn't abort you. You know what I mean? And then Claudia's posted stuff like this, where she said, you know, she'll always stay on social media. No matter
or if, like,
what.
nobody hears from me. Hi, I saw this comment on another video, but this was just on the recent one. I will not leave social media on my own accord. And if I stop posting or whatever, not me.
Okay, so there's that. And then, so that's like prior stuff, not the Morse code thing. I think that happened today. And this is what happened today. So basically, there's a feature on Twitter called Fleets, which not a lot of people use. It's basically like stories. And for some reason, Kellyanne's Fleets today on Twitter, a topless photo of Claudia, who I believe is either 15 or 16, was published. And, you know, people saw it. It's screen cap. It's on the internet forever. You know how the internet works. But this is like right afterwards.
Apparently, that's real, and so here's what I guess happened. The pictures were months ago, and I'm assuming that when my mom took my phone, anytime she's taken it, because she takes it all the time, she took a picture of that, so that was on her phone. And I guess she accidentally posted it, or somebody hacked her, but nobody would ever have any photo like that, ever. So Kellyanne, you're going to fucking jail. If you see it, report it. My mom deserves to go to jail. That's unreal. She's the only person that has it.
Now, admittedly, that is a crazy allegation. But it's also, like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Claudia has definitely exaggerated things at times before. And you never know, you know, it's possible she could, I guess Kellyanne on this specific day could have gotten hacked. But my thinking is, if somebody hacked you, wouldn't they have posted it everywhere? If you hack Kellyanne Conway's Twitter and you find a gold mine for a hacker, you know, something like this, that you're clearly looking for either, you know, dirt or trying to embarrass somebody, you think they would post it everywhere, not in a fleet that the majority of Kellyanne's 3.2 million followers are not going to see, because it got taken down quickly. You know what I mean? So like the whole, oh, she got hacked. It kind of, I mean, I guess it's possible, but it doesn't really add up. You know what I mean? So that happened, and this is the apology. But then this happened later. She was on a live call with Tana Mojo. I don't know how you say her name. She's like the female Jake Paul. Really just terrible person, but that's besides the point. But she was on a live with her, and like the cops came, and she's arguing with her parents, and this is kind of the rundown of what happened.
She's literally mad because I'm on my today. You go to jail. You just said that because you.
There's a lot of other videos, but they've been mostly deleted, so I'm not gonna search. You know what I mean? Like, this is like the stuff that's still up.
You posted a nude photo of me. You just said I should go to jail. You just said Bill.
Let me speak to you for a minute.
And she starts screen recording.
Stop! Ow! What the fuck? Don't touch me. I'm allowed.
Guys, it's so sad
She's literally mad because I'm on my phone.
that you
It's
can't
scary.
even call 911.
It's literally scary. You're scary.
Claudia, if you want this situation to come to resolution,
Oh,
I asked you to put it down. Not put it down. She's not. I'm standing here.
No, she's not taking it. She's not taking it.
I've asked you to put the phone down.
let it face the setting in case he comes out and be like, see if
Yeah, it
it's
is legal. You're going to start learning what's legal and what's not legal instead of making it up and getting your legal advice on TikTok. Okay? Those days are over. Just so you know.
Yes.
Dyfus, New Jersey did a full investigation, no finding. CPS, Washington, D.C., full investigation.
Yeah, they work for you, cunt.
I think this is the night she just has to go, George. I'm trending on Twitter.
Stop talking to me.
She's telling people.
She's so upset she's saying on
She
TV.
posted my nudes on her Twitter today. Did you see that?
Listen,
No,
he has nothing to do with this right now, okay?
Please.
On
But
what?
But in Washington, D.C., all three of the other kids had to be interviewed. My mother, who sobbed her whole way through the interview, who lives with us down
You
here.
are actively gaslighting them right now.
These are the facts. You just need to know what the
They're talking to the
Metropolitan Police
cops, by the way.
Department did. They were involved. Child Protective Services were involved. No finding whatsoever. She diverted resources away from kids who really are in need. Then it happened here in
She
New
has
Jersey
called
this
the
summer.
police. She
And it usually
does. They
stems
show
from
up and then
her
their
getting in the fight
rich
with
white
the boyfriend of
Republican
the parents.
parents just
It's all centered
fucking
at the 3 times
know
she
them
first
and they don't do
TikToked
anything.
against her mother by name. She had gotten in the fight with him. I'm not living this way anymore, guys. It
I'm pretty
ends
sure
tonight. My life
she's
is in
still all
danger.
over.
She's on TikTok tonight telling me
My life
I will
is in
be
danger.
arrested. I will be arrested. I should be arrested.
You posted a nude photo of
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
There's
Nobody intentionally posted anything of you. There is no new photo of you. You just lied to the officers that, quote, millions of people saw you when Carmelo himself.
And then right after that, the cop hangs up. But like a couple things, like one, you know, they say, oh, CPS has been called and they did an investigation. Like these aren't just regular like millionaire people. Like these are some very influential, powerful people. Not just Kellyanne, but George Conway. He runs the Lincoln Project. These are extremely rich and powerful political people. You know what I mean? And what I don't understand is how does a nude picture of your daughter, or how, I don't know how Kellyanne gets a picture of Claudia's nude to even post it. Like that's really weird. Unless it's for like blackmail later down the line. I mean, that's only explanation I can think of. I mean, obviously she's not like ogling her daughter, you know. I'm not going QAnon with it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and you know, like the more I like look into this today, it's like, yeah. And then after all this, you know, Claudia is like very strong-willed, and all this happens. Then you know they kind of it gets killed for the night. They shut off the phone, or she goes off social media. Which one is it? Is it this one? No. Where's the apology one? It is, nope, not that one. It's this one. And then this, after everything happened, like this is the apology, and it sounds like such a Washington politician statement, which I mean they are a Washington household, but I don't know. It just seems kind of weird to me.
Hi guys, I just wanted to come on here and address the situation. This isn't forced, this is coming completely from me.
The way you know it's not forced is because they say, hey, this ain't forced. I don't know. Seems odd.
Claudia. I have faith and I know that my mother would never put something like that on the internet, as well as me. We would never do that. My mom and I, we fight like mothers and daughters, but we also love like mothers and daughters, and I do love her. I will be taking a...
Like that's such a practiced line, you know what I mean? Oh, we fight like mothers and daughters. We also love like mothers and daughters. I swear I've like heard Kellyanne say something like that before.
Break from social media because we are really tired of being headlines, and we fight like mothers and daughters, but being in the public eye exacerbates that greatly, and it adds a lot of stress to both of our lives, and I don't want that. I don't want any drama. I don't want any hate. So I will be leaving social media for a bit to work on my relationship with my mom and my family. Please do not incite hate or violence on my family. Please. No threats, no calls to authorities. I love my mom and she loves me.
I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, she posted a couple other videos that basically said the same thing. Like, my mom didn't do that. Somebody must have hacked us. You know, my mom loves me, you know, but then like, just feels off to me. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like, how would, you know, obviously like CPS and the cops, they're not going to treat this like they would a normal situation. And I don't know. I just feel like maybe it would be better for everyone involved if Claudia was like emancipate. I don't, you know, it's so hard, you know, getting in people's like family dynamic is really tough. And it would be like the last thing I would want to like advocate for. But like, I'm like, this situation just seems like really out of hand. I don't know how y'all feel about it. She's a ghoul. Yeah, no, well, she's like in a. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being Kellyanne Conway or even George Conway. I mean, Kellyanne, I mean, could you imagine trying to reason with Kellyanne Conway, like over, I don't know, normal kid stuff? And she almost, like, I don't know. I had, you know, I've been around kids that were, like, kind of verbally and mentally abused, and they seem to always be, like, very, like, kind of mature, you know what I mean? And like very like grown up, like in certain ways. Like she's very immature in certain ways, but she's very much, she acts like an adult very much in a lot of ways too. And I've seen that with like kids that are, you know, I'm like clearly I think she's like mentally abused. I don't know about physically abused, but we've seen some crazy ass videos, and it's like I don't even like to speculate on stuff like that, but I don't. This is a concerning situation to me. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like I just feel like she needs to maybe get away from her mom and or something, or they need to like I don't know, like set up like some kind of therapy where, you know, they see each other twice a week and then, you know, Claudia stays somewhere or something. I don't it just it seems like they're really just trying to put the kibosh on it so they don't look bad in the public eye. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just a bad situation. Claudia Conway's 16. Yeah, I knew she was like 15 or 16. But yeah, she's super young, whatever it is. But yeah, that's pretty much the Kellyanne Claudia situation in a nutshell. And yeah, it's just yeah, it's just it's a terrible situation. By the way, all you guys on TikTok, link to my bio is in, or link to my bio. Link to YouTube and Twitch is in my bio if you guys want to see what we're actually watching over here. So you can be more involved. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine being Kellyanne. Kellyanne or George's daughter. I think they have like another son, but he's like pretty young. And she's clearly like she bucks them on, and she's a wild kid. Don't get me wrong. Like it would definitely be hard to have a kid like that with 1.6 million followers on TikTok or whatever she's got, and then you know all the stuff that comes with it. Not saying it wouldn't be hard, but I mean, it's Kellyanne Conway. I don't know. I think that makes us be less sympathetic to the situation, but clearly, there's something that needs to be done there. Anyway, you guys want to see? You guys want to see the biggest example of white privilege I've ever seen in my life? So these idiots apparently had an issue. They got pulled over, and they didn't like it too much. They said they felt fearful for their lives. So they decide they're going to walk into a police station fully cocked, locked, and ready to rock with you know, some guns on their chest as like a prank, I guess, and they filmed it. It's pretty fucking dumb.
It's 100% accurate. We felt a little afraid for our lives when we were pulled over, so we figured we better protect ourselves.
Okay, they are walking into a police station. Let's just, if they're black, they're dead automatically. I don't care where it's at, what part of America. If they're black, they're dead. It's just, or like, you know, brown, anything other than white. These guys are dead.
Dude, put that on the ground! Put it on the ground! Put it on the ground! I'm not trying to put it on the ground now! Put it on the ground!
And they were, of course, arrested. As you see at the end there, what does it say? Man who walked into Dearborn, or that was in Michigan, okay. Man who walked into Dearborn police station armed with guns, tactical vest, sentence. 2 men involved in Dearborn police shooting, open carry sentence. Yeah, so maybe the most moronic thing I've seen in a while, and we go over some pretty stupid shit on this stream and just in daily content life, but yeah. I don't know. Did he say they were afraid for their lives? Yeah, that's what he said. He said they felt intimidated when they got pulled over. Like clearly they're just like trying to like be funny. Like they thought this was like a funny joke. Oh, we felt fearful for our lives and the police work for us, yada yada yada. They're lucky they didn't get shot in the face. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what would possess a grown-ass person? I can think of... I've done a lot of dumb shit, especially when I was younger. But I don't know how either high or drunk or just dumb I would have to be to walk into a police station with a gun. Like, why would the cop think anything else and they were going to shoot up the place? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't they just assume that? Alrighty. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if this thing's ready to rock. Oh, it doesn't seem to be up yet. Hold on.
And we are...
It's Tuesday, January 10th, 10 p.m. That's Eastern, though, right? Connect with Vice. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, probably be up here in a minute. All right, we'll give it a minute. But okay, so I get dumber every day. Me too, bro. Don't worry about it. They could have gotten shot and no one would have... Yeah, no, they could have gotten shot and not a single person would have been like, that was a bad shoot. Because, I mean, what was it? Jacob Blake walked to his car and he potentially maybe had a knife or something. Like, he did have a knife, but I don't think he, like, touched it or anything, but he had one under the floorboard. And they just shot him in the back 7 times. So, yeah. And the craziest thing is that if had them guys gotten shot, everyone on the right would have been defending them. Like, oh, they're doing their constitutional right. Promos for the TV network, not the YouTube page? Oh, really? Vice, the search for QAnon. Not Voice. Vice, the search for QAnon. Maybe it is on the TV thing. I think this is the one we watched already. Hold on.
As a budtender, High Supply definitely drew me to them because they're very affordable. They have pre-rolls, vapes, popcorn nugs, regular flower. Whatever your choice of cannabis may be, they have something for you.
The deep state. So it wasn't like a moment.
These are claimed to be a high-level government.
Oh, I guess it comes on at 10 Central. So it comes on here, it just comes on, okay. Well, I thought it'd be not, okay. Well, okay, well. I got you on my phone and on my TV. Nice. Double the viewership. Okay, well, it's either on net, it must be another. God damn it. I had this right. Okay, well, let's talk about some other shit then. So, what else we got? Oh, I know what yeah. Did you guys see this today? So Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you don't know what frazzle drip is basically like the holy, once people, if any of your relatives or family members ever bring up frazzle drip, you need to be worried, because that's when they're like deep in, you know what I mean? Like that's like one step above lizard people. Basically, they, what? But what's the, what the fuck was I got distracted by a comment. Oh, okay, I see now. All right, but anyway, so basically fragile drip is like the worst thing right before lizard people. Well, it turns out Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene was not only talking about it, but she was promoting it as real. It's basically like this conspiracy that Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin are on video, like, you know, eating a child, and somehow that video ended up on Anthony Weiner's laptop. You know, it's the real ridiculous shit. On Facebook in 2018, now Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican GA, endorsed a conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton participated in a satanic child murder and ordered to hit on police officers to cover it up. This is kind of the thread. This is the mother of the NYPD officer who watched a horrific video seized on Anthony Weiner's laptop of Huma and Hillary. I'm not even gonna say that because, yeah, probably get me like banned. But you see what it says. This was another Hillary hit. And then here's Marjorie Taylor. Yes, familia. I post things sometimes to see who knows things. Most of the time, people don't. I'm glad to see your comment. I've decided it's time to start doing a lot more videos and engage further in the fight. Most people honestly don't know so much. The MSN disinformation warfare has won for too long. So yeah, in short order, a member of Congress thinks there's a video, or at least thought there was a video or things. I'm just gonna go with things. There's a video on the internet of Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin doing that with a kid, and that they killed. You know what I mean? Like this is grade A crazy shit. And I don't know how I feel about it. Nuttier than squirrel poo. Yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, and then, well, she came out with this statement. Fake news CNN is right. Well, the whole statement's right here. Fake news CNN is writing yet another hit piece on me. Focus on my time before running for political office. Over the years, I've had teams of people manage my pages. Many posts have been liked. Many posts have been shared. Some did not represent my views. Okay, not gonna totally call bullshit, but I'm gonna kind of call bullshit. So you're like a fringe candidate back in, I don't know, 2019. Like no one's ever even heard of you at this point. And you have a team of social media people. I don't feel like somebody who hasn't even won a primary has a team of social media people. Especially when you're on like basically every video spouting all this crap anyway. Like she's on video talking about all, you know, pushing all these QAnon talking points. Especially the ones that CNN is about to spread across the internet. They're taking old Facebook posts from random users to try and cancel me and silence my voice. Yeah, okay. CNN hasn't once tried to cancel a Democrat. Well, to be fair, I feel like if Joe Biden had talked about, you know, that, or AOC, if AOC comes out tomorrow and said there's a video of Donald Trump and Don Jr., you know, doing that, I feel like maybe people will talk about it. Especially those on the right. But I feel like that would be a universal damnation. Even those who called for violence while in office. Here's the truth. The Democrats and their spokesmen and the fake news media will stop at nothing to defeat conservative Republicans. They are coming after me because I'm a threat to their goals of socialism. They're coming after me because they know I represent the people, not the politicians. Well, unfortunately, that's kind of true in a weird way. They're coming after me because like President Trump, former President Trump, I will always defend our values. They want to take me out because I represent you, and they absolutely hate it. Prepare for the smears. Prepare for attacks. I will never back down to the enemy of the American people, and neither should you. So yeah, basically she, she went the route of they're trying to silence me, or they're trying to silence you by silencing me, all that jazz. But I mean, this is all just horse shit. If anybody in Congress was a Sandy Hook truther or anything, I personally think she's not getting enough criticism. Like, why am I only seeing, like, people who post about conspiracies talk about this? Like, this is like my, like, well, this is from her, but like the guys like mostly talking about this are like people that follow QAnon and stuff. I mean, it was talked about a little bit mainstream, but I don't think we're like really grasping the sincerity of what a person in Congress is alleging or has alleged in the past. Like, at some point, I think we need to like tell her to kick rocks. Like, what would she have to do? I can't, like, would she have to like shoot somebody? What's the cutoff point? She is enemy of the American people. True. She's just a fucking nutbag, man. And nutbags work nowadays. You know what I mean? The nuttier the better. People, like, you just gotta own the libs. You don't have to have any policies. I don't know anything that Marjorie Taylor Greene actually stands for. I just know she's really, really good at owning the libs. And that's it. What else does she do? Is that Twitter? Yeah. Yeah, it's Twitter. Twitter. It's usually yeah, I don't think people realize how bad, like, if you don't know the QAnon talking points, it's harder to know, like, how deranged some of this shit is. Like, the average person doesn't even know what frazzle drip is. But,
gathering up.
Like, can we get, like, a change.org petition to call out Marjorie Taylor Greene? I feel like it's a good idea. Okay, so. Alrighty. So, anyway, moving on from that. This was a video, that I thought was pretty funny. Basically, this lady's trying to say the inauguration was fake, and then the whole thing kind of gets ruined at the end. When the lady she says isn't there pops back into frame.
Gathering up around him. There's a girl in white standing directly next to Jill and directly behind Joe. And the girl in pink and the Asian man.
The Asian man.
Gone. They just vanished.
Like, you can literally see her nose. Like, it's still, like, her nose is still on frame.
This is supposed to be live.
The office of President of the United States. Office of President of the United States. And will to the
new
best
camera
of my
angle.
Ability, will to the best of my ability. Preserve,
fine. Okay. Still gone.
Defend,
okay.
The Constitution
oh, they're back again.
They never
Asian
left,
man,
lady.
Person in pink. Oh, they're gone again. This is supposed to be live. These people are frauds.
And there she goes, right there. Like, her whole, like, as she, like, cut 1 second too, she didn't cut, like, 1 second too far. Like, if she would have edited out just that last part, well, she probably sold people anyway, because, it's how they roll. But I love how, like, at the very last second, the person she said was never there just leaps onto camera and gives them both a hug. I don't know who that lady is exactly. I think it's his, like, granddaughter, daughter, or something. Who knows? Well, yeah, I mean, well, I don't think there's a tape delay for the inauguration, but I mean, can you imagine the amount of people it would take to make the inauguration not live? Like, that's one of the things, like, one of the things I've found that works best with conspiracy people is to actually, like, make their logic track. Like, when they say something, because usually you're only, like, 1 or 2 questions away from the whole thing falling apart. So when they say, "Oh, Joe Biden was a clone," well, okay, well, why did they clone him? And if Joe Biden was going to steal the election, why did they put a clone Joe Biden in to steal the election? You know, and just like go from there, and eventually, you know, they just kind of run out of stuff, and they either like realize that what they're saying is kind of outlandish, or they just go full on Joe Biden as a lizard person from the third moon of Mars or something. You know what I mean? And that doesn't work with everybody, but I've found, like, sometimes, you know, because I'll get messages all the time, like, "You fucking deep state chill," yada, yada, yada. And sometimes, if I have time, I'll be like, "Well, that's odd. Well, what about this?" Or, you know, "Okay, well, how does that work if this goes to that and that to this?" Yada, yada, you know, shit like that. But the thing about conspiracy theories is nobody ever gets into them because of solid information. So it's hard to get them out for solid information with solid information. But I have found that once people kind of get sick of the LARP, they'll search out solid information, and that'll help them in their transition. It's kind of like a part of it, but never the key thing. Yes, numbers on. Oh, I am a deep state shill, but I mean, I try to be an honest deep state shill anyway. They don't believe in camera angles. Yeah, camera angles, you know, that was invented by George Soros. We all know that George Soros was the one that came up with camera angles, so therefore, you know, they're not big fans of them. Let's see what else happened today. Oh, I know. Well, so I made a TikTok about this earlier. Oh, So Democrats decided to put forth their $15 minimum wage bill. And I don't know, I kind of see what y'all think about it. But it goes from $7.25 to $15 an hour by 2025. This is basically the same exact bill that got passed, I think, was it 2019? Whenever the Democrats took the House, eventually they passed it. I don't know if they passed it in 2018 or 2019. Can't really remember. But they basically passed the same bill through the House. Obviously, it didn't get Senate support. But this is basically how it breaks down. So next year, or this year, it would go up to $11 an hour. And then after that, it would go up to $12.50. Then it would go up to $14. And then it would go up to $15. Now, I absolutely hate this for a few reasons. One, like, they're giving the game away immediately. Like, leave it up to Democrats to come to the table with, like, the compromise. You know what I mean? Like, this is the compromise bill. They should have started with, you know, $15 an hour over the next 2 years or 3, you know, something. They should have like, this is what they want. And that's what they started with. Instead of starting with something that, you know, is a little more progressive or has a few different things. They started with the compromise, which is what Democrats are, like, famous for doing, especially Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, and it drives me nuts. And, you know, not surprisingly, when I posted this TikTok today, the comments were just on fire with people, you know, giving their 2 cents. Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. My thinking on $15 an hour minimum wage is, firstly, like, I've lived in a fuck ton of states. I used to travel a lot for work. I've been just about everywhere except like 2 or 3 states. And $15 an hour to live, like, is like bare minimum. I don't care where you go. $15 an hour, 40-hour work week. Most places you cannot survive on that. But it's like the minimum, you know what I mean? So when people say, oh, well, it needs to be based on, you know, the area, yada, yada, like I would say, okay, maybe, but $15 needs to be the base. And, you know, people say, another argument against it is, oh, well, small businesses can't afford $15 hour minimum wage. Like, they just can't do it. Well, I would say, first of all, if your business can't afford $15 an hour, you need to get better at business, because you shouldn't be profiting that much off of labor. And in a lot of places, it's already $10, $11. In some places, it is $15, and prices haven't really gone up a lot. But I can see the argument, you know what I mean, in certain instances. But for small businesses, here's an idea. Maybe instead of subsidizing giant oil companies, maybe we pass a $15 minimum wage, and for the first couple years, we subsidize the small businesses. Like, why isn't anybody talking? Why isn't that an idea that's thrown out? Like, okay, maybe you're right. Some small businesses can't just take a jump from $7.50 or whatever it is, $7.25 to $15. Okay, well, let's subsidize them for, I don't know, 2 years. And yeah, it might be a little bit expensive, but all that money put into the economy is going to help it. It'll help a lot of people. So I feel like it's a much more net positive than subsidizing oil companies that destroy our planet. I don't even know what the billions of dollars that goes into oil subsidies every year, but it's in the billions upon billions of dollars. And with that, I'll take your question. I remember a few years ago reading the stat that Walmart, for Walmart to pay a living wage, they would have to raise prices by 5 cents on average item, but they won't do it. Yeah. Well, I really, like, you can't make any argument for big businesses not being able to afford $15 an hour. Like, in certain cases, I could see maybe small businesses right off the bat not being able to afford it. Like, I could get behind that a little bit, not really, but there's absolutely no reason that Walmart should not be paying $15 an hour. While the Waltons are filthy rich, they never have to work. Isn't that one Walton lady, or that's the Disney heiress that is, she's like a Bernie supporter. Why do big oil companies need subsidies? They don't, but they get them. You know what I mean? The same thing with, you know, it's that way of like, oh, we're gonna bring this business here, we're gonna give it a bunch of tax cuts, and, you know, give it money, and they're gonna create jobs. You know, and like, sometimes, yeah, that works, but depending on the business or what it is or how it's going to affect the planet, it's not that good of an idea, especially when those companies, majority of the time, are going to go there anyway. Kind of like the whole Amazon deal. Amazon, you know, want the richest, you know, who is owned by the, well, second richest man in the world now. You know, they tried to get New York and all these other states to give them all these tax cuts. And they pushed back on them because it was honestly not really what New York needed. And they ended up going there anyway and, you know, creating jobs, maybe not as many because they didn't build their headquarters there, but they still went there. And, you know, it's that, I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's like a flawed way of thinking. I can say rural North Carolina 15 hours would be a huge boost. It would be bigger, but it would be different in the bigger cities. I just don't see how one size fits all can work. I don't think it should be one size fits all. I think 15 should be the minimum. Because yeah, you're right. Like you cannot live in big cities, really any of them. Like I couldn't live in Minneapolis for 15 an hour. There's no way. You just couldn't. I don't know where. I mean, I live in like a small town in Minnesota, and I don't, you know, 15 an hour would be tough to get by on. And that's just, you know, me, one person, no kids. You know, it just doesn't set you up for success. If it, yeah. Yeah, well, in Cali and New York especially. Like, forget Cali and New York. Like, you can't do that in Indianapolis. You can't live off $15 an hour. So I personally think that make 15 the minimum, this is obviously not going to happen because, you know, government. But make 15 an hour the minimum, and then from there, everybody can kind of do their own thing, you know, different. Because by this logic, 24 years, so 2025. So by 2025, we're going to have $15 minimum wage. Like, we're going to need to raise it again. Like, that's 5 years from now, you're going to have, you know, a $15 an hour wage that is like the bare minimum right now. But in 5 years, it's not going to be enough. So it's just, you know, it's more shitty, half measure bullshit. Most places in Austin, Texas, I'm assuming, pay at least 15 an hour and still couldn't live on. Yeah, exactly. Austin's another, you know, not a huge city, but I mean, it's a decent sized city. Oh yeah, the find something new argument. I really hate those people. Like they don't understand. Like, oh, just find a better job. It's like, well, okay, well, yeah, that's great advice. Like a video a guy did about Dave Ramsey the other day. I was saying how his advice is kind of bad because it's basically like, oh, you're in debt? Well, just don't spend money then, and then pay off your debts. It's like, oh, okay, never thought of that one. Like, yeah, technically, I guess it's not bad advice, but like, really, you know what I mean? Like, really, that okay? Oh, you know, don't give me any kind of like financial tips and tricks. Just save your money and pay stuff off. Don't go to eat for 14 years or something. But yeah. And, you know, I don't even know if I'd want them to waste this on budget reconciliation, because I think Biden gets three chances to use budget reconciliation the first 2 years. By the way, the fiscal years ago. And I mean, is this even worth? I mean, I guess it's better than, I don't know. I guess it's better than the status quo. But man, I mean, I'd be much more, Jovan Bell, thank for subscribing. Much appreciated. I'd be much happier, if they did healthcare under budget. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I guess this is a reason to do budget reconciliation. But you only get 3, and I don't even know if they're going to do it. And again, this is a starting point. Like, this should be the compromise. They already gave them the compromise. What are we going to end up with? $14 in 7 years? I mean, they caved to Republicans on basically everything. If I'm lucky enough to live in Silicon Valley, where those skills are in demand. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, it's like I said, it just need $15 an hour, in my opinion, needs to be the base, and then we just go up from there. 3 in a year or in a term. I think it's in no, I think it's in what is it, a term? I think it's 3 in the 2 years. Like until the I think he gets 3 chances at budget. He gets 3 chances at budget reconciliation in the first 2 years. Maybe it's term. I don't know. Now you got me guessing. But I think because of the way the fiscal years go, like he gets an extra one. Like I think it's 1 a year for the yeah, that's what because it's 1 a year for the budget. Like the way it works out. Like you can do one like thing through budget reconciliation, like one big piece of legislation. Alrighty. Somebody just did something. I heard an alert. This is the other thing that Biden did today, which was, I think, was pretty good. I mean, it's a good start. New followers. Square of the... I missed the rest. Thank you for following, person with a very long name. So this is another thing Biden did today. And honestly, like, I've been pretty critical of Biden for good reasons up to this point. But this was pretty good. Biden orders DOJ to end private prison contracts as part of a racial equity push. President Joe Biden ordered his Department of Justice not to renew contracts with private prisons, one of multiple new planks of Biden's broad-focused racial justice agenda. It was one of 4 executive orders after Biden laid out his racial equity plan. The actions aimed at combating discriminatory housing practice, reforming the prison system, respecting sovereignty of tribal governments, and fighting xenophobia against Asian Americans, especially in light of the COVID pandemic. Now, what does that, like, does that mean, like, programs? Like, how are we fighting xenophobia against Asian American? Like, I'm curious, like, I guess it'd be like some kind of program. But, I mean, I really like the ending contracts for private prisons thing, because private prisons are ridiculously god-awful. Like, whoever thought of that idea was really, 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 really dumb. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I have faith in Bernie, but that's about it. I saw today on CNN it was 1 budget reconciliation per year. Yeah, but I think because of the way the fiscal years fall, that he gets 3 in the first 2 years. Pretty sure. Not 100%, pretty sure. I don't know. IDK. You guys on TikTok, the link is in my bio to my YouTube and Twitch. If y'all want to come over here, we're partying. We're having a shindig of a time. Let's see. Oh. Dude, you guys see this? I don't know if is this real? I don't know if this is real or not. I couldn't tell. Like, I'm usually pretty good at telling if stuff is real.
What is going on here? This lady attacked me.
I attacked you? How the fuck am I
She spit in my face, and she came at me because I have a USA flag on the back of my Jeep. It all started because she was posted up against that Jeep, and I said, "Hello, fellow Jeeper."
I don't got my car.
Like, that kind of seems like a goof, right? Like, he's goofing, but then I don't watch the rest. Like, I couldn't tell. Am I just dumb?
Jeeps.
My car's fucking super.
Oh, cops. You're gonna get off of me?
I'm gonna get off with you.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Karen? Holy shit. Karen flipped. Hey, don't touch him. I'm gonna call the police.
You're calling police on me?
Dude, she's... Don't come near me. Don't come near me. Back up.
He's scared. You're scared of me.
I'm not fucking insane. Get the fuck... Dude, get out.
Like, that's either a serious when Karen attacks. I mean, it's got a 195k likes. And I don't know if it's true, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like almost too good to be true. New follower. Damn, I missed the fucking alert again. Thank you for following, whoever you were. I will look back in it. Where in Minnesota are you from? I'm from Little Falls. I don't want to give exact location, but I live in southern Minnesota. I live south of the cities. Given the nature of my content, I don't want anybody to know, like, the exact town I live in. You know, because 14 times a day I get called the deep state chill from QAnon people, so, you know. If you guys ever want to see, like, the most toxic thing ever, go to my my first part of the Fall of the Cabal series. Like, there's so many... They're very creative with the names I've been called. Even now, like, this whole thing is, like, falling apart. So this was I found.
I know I could rake it.
This kind of this guy's talking about the thing I was kind of talking about the other day about how being a conservative grifter is the easiest thing in the world.
And being a conservative coon. I just know it.
I really wish this guy was wrong. I really wish he was. But he's right. I might have to stop this whole progressive bullshit I'm doing. I can make so much money if I start simping for the Republican Party. I don't even have to be right. I just have to be black. And I got that part covered. And I'm light-skinned. Their favorite kind of black person. I don't want to, but think about it. I'm about to spend 2 weeks voice acting and animating a Republican parody of the Animaniacs theme song called Blame the Democrats. Blame the Democrats. I've been shadow banned on TikTok, and YouTube never shows my shit to anyone. so no one will ever see it. But all I gotta do is make a few TikToks saying that racism isn't real, and I'll get legions of fans and people paying me out the ass. But if I do it, how could I sleep at night? Probably on stacks of $100 bills. If you want to see the parody, comment, like, and subscribe to boost this. Or I might have to pull a Candace Owens.
I mean, he ain't wrong in any way. Look no further than you know who has the number one, I think it's number 1 and number 3 rap songs this week is freaking Topher Town Music. Like the conservative grifter guy who's been pushing voter fraud for months. He came out with some song and it's literally number 1 and number 3 on the rap charts. And I mean, it's not the worst song in the world, but it ain't good. Yeah, like it ain't no banger, and that's just not my bias. If it was a good song, I would, okay, yeah, you got a good song, good for you. But I mean, the grift on the right is stronger than ever, especially now that they're in like massive cope mode. Like you think it would get better now that Trump's out of office? Oh no, it's only gonna get worse, unfortunately. Yeah, it's easy money, man. Like he's not like they're both not wrong at all. Like some of the there's this one guy I've stitched a couple times and he just basically like points at Facebook memes and is like Democrats are bad. 187,000 followers. You know what I mean? Like no intelligent conversation, no in-depth analysis of issues. Not like I'm the smartest fucking guy in the world or anything. And I'm not saying that. In fact, I'm the ex-truck driver, so, but, I mean, yeah, that's pretty rough on the right, pretty rough as far as, like, I mean, they thought Jordan Peterson was, like, the best thing ever, and he just, like, said, you gotta clean your room, a bunch of times. The best-selling book thing, yeah, where they buy their own books, they have, like, like, packs, conservative PACs buy their book and they're like, oh, we got the number 1 book this week. It's like, dude, no, you don't. You freaking goobers. But I mean, look no further than that Dustin Nemos, who's like a QAnon grifter. He had the number 1 selling book for like 2 weeks in the country, and it was about QAnon. Like, they support their causes. I'll give them that. They're all dumb and make no sense, but they support their causes, which is both scary and, let's see what the, let's scroll the Twitter timeline, see what's going on. All the copies and get number 1 bestseller. It's then, yeah, well, once you say, oh, I have a bestseller, people want to buy it. And it doesn't take much to get a bestseller. Like, it's surprisingly low. I remember, what was it? It was John Idarola, who does a damage report on TYT. He had a good, like, in-depth piece about how they purchase all these books in bulk. And then it pumps up the numbers. And then by that, they're able to, make buckets on buckets of money. You hear Marlon Craft? I don't think so. I listen to a little bit of rap, but I mean, like occasionally. Like honestly, like I don't listen to like a lot of like, music doesn't really, like on a daily basis, like most of the music I learn about is from TikTok, and half the time it's only like the viral sound part. And then occasionally, if like I really like a song, I'll look it up. Other than that, I basically listen to the same music I did when I was like 15. Average millennial, I guess. Oh. This is pretty funny. Kid flipping off Matt Gaetz. Making a pot of tea. It's like how Scientology worked with having their members all buy yeah. Dude, Scientology, it's like every few years, like the crazy like the crazy like group that we talk about gets stranger and stranger. Like Scientology's crazy, but they're kind of mainstream a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's an actual church. They got tax exempt status. Like they've made shit happen. Then like from them, we got bored with them, and then we moved on to flat earthers. Flat earthers are pretty interesting, but they're pretty harmless for the most part. There is some that have done some pretty dumb shit, but they're pretty harmless. And then now, like, flat earthers is like, whatever. We don't really care about you guys. Now we're on to the QAnon group. And they're just, 17 levels of fucking nuts. And that's where we're at. I like all music. I like all genres. I just don't. What's your favorite music genre? Punk rock. I'm a punk rocker from way back in the day, brah. Like I'm like a big like Rise Against, Dropkick Murphys, stuff like that. Not so much like the more emo stuff, but like the more like I don't know, just like traditional kind of punk rock stuff. Less Than Jake, shit like that. Like I grew up like when I was a kid, teenager, I was like a skateboarder punk. And we basically every weekend, like I grew up in Tampa, which is a big like punk, they have a really good punk rock scene. So I basically grew up going down there, grew up down there going to concerts every weekend. And I mean, even if you don't like punk rock, you should definitely go to a show. I tell that to everybody, just because it's definitely an interesting experience. All right. I'm glad me and Maddie Ball are vibing on that. I can say I have one genre from old school, Korn and Slipknot. I think either my first or second concert was a Korn concert. There's a second one. Yeah, it was like Korn and somebody. I was super young though. Man, that was like I couldn't have been older than like 10 or 11. And that was like when they were starting to fade out. Like Korn I was real young when they were ever relevant. Yeah, Dropkick's awesome. Dropkick is one of the best shows. I want to go to their St. Patty's Day show one of these days. But I've seen Dropkick Murphys probably 5 or 6 times. They play at a place up in the cities. Well, it's Woodbury, but it's basically the cities. Called The Myth. Really awesome, like concert venue. I've seen them there a few times. Even though I think they might be Trump supporters, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it, so I don't really look into their politics. But for the most part, Voodoo Glow Skulls, yep, that's a good old school. God, you get all right, well, no wonder you guys vibe with me. That's why we vibe. We're rockers through and through. Casualties, yeah, I went to a Casualties concert one time. They did like this mosh pit called like the Wall of Death, and basically like people get on each side and they just run at each other. That's pretty awesome. I seen them at a place in Minneapolis. It's called like the Triple Rock or something, or maybe that was the amphitheater. I can't remember. Yeah, I've probably been to like 100 punk rock or rock/punk rock concerts. I got to see Linkin Park, like literally like one of the last times before Chester died, which is like, and then he ends up becoming part of this like stupid QAnon conspiracy. But right before Chester Bennington died, they did like one final. They did like a tour, around, but then like halfway through the tour, Chester broke his ankle. So I'm not sure if they toured again after that, but I'm pretty sure I saw him at one of his last concerts before, like, he offed himself. My first concert was Clash of the Titans, Anthrax, White Zombie, and Pantera. Jesus, you got broke in, right? Like I'm not much into that like scream metal like that. Like I don't know. Like there's a couple songs that are chill, and like Slipknot has some decent songs, but I just can't really like get into that too much. What else we got? What else we got going on around here? So do you see the Hawaiian GOP was promoting QAnon? Saw that the other day. Oh, and Lauren Boebert apparently knew them 3%ers that she did photos with. So much for that shit. check this one. No, that's my profile. You don't like me? Oh, yeah, no. I haven't been sad about too many celebrities dying. I don't know if you guys can see my Kobe mural in the background. Like, Kobe was always one of my like inspirations because I played basketball in high school. But other than Kobe, I would say Chester Bennington dying was like one that like was like a gut punch. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, celebrity deaths, you know, whatever. I would say the three that got me the worst is like Kobe, number one, and then he's not really that big of a celebrity, but Michael Brooks, who was on the Majority Report, just because he is like one of the guys that got me into progressive politics. So like when he died and it was sudden and he was young, like, man, that was heartbreaking. If you guys never watched Michael Brooks's content, you definitely should. Like, was a wickedly smart guy, just good dude, not like some kind of grifter, not in it for the clout. Like, he was hilarious, just great commentator. Really, yeah, just all around, just great dude. And then probably Kobe, number one. What I would say the only three that ever really like punched me in the gut. Is she still trying to bring her pet gun? I don't know if she's still doing that. I think that died. I think that whole narrative died. I haven't heard any more about it. I mean, what a stupid hill to die on. And you know, she only ever did it for clout. You know what I mean? Like, she knew that there was no, I mean, there's no winning that beef. You're not gonna, it was just a good way to, you know, promote yourself, basically. Hitting me in the feels. Yeah, I know, man. I'm an introvert too, but I like concerts because you don't have to talk. Yeah, no, it's crazy how like people who are like introverted sometimes will, like, I'm a pretty social dude, but you know, it's like when you're at a concert, like there's so many people, like you kind of like it's like a chill environment, and you're all kind of there for the same reasons. Kind of the same thing with like football games. Like, I just like live events. Like, I'm a big fan of like going to football games, concerts. You know, just like when you're there with like your people. Like when you're at a football game, just high-fiving random strangers over something, over like a first down. You know, it's kind of like this cool camaraderie feeling. Kind of like this, like, and that's kind of how I got, you know, how I started like volunteering on campaigns. You know, it's like we're all here for like this common cause. Like, it was so awesome. Like the weekend that Bernie won the Nevada primaries, like, you know, I went out and campaigned with all these, you know, people, and we're like, after he like won by 20 points, we're all like happy as shit. Like, that was the peak of the Bernie career. Everybody on the MSN was flipping out, thinking Bernie's actually going to win this thing. Sadly, from there, I missed out on the Vice QAnon thing. No, it doesn't start until, it starts at 10. I thought it started at 9, so he's been kind of bullshitting since then. Yeah, no, you're good. She had to own the libs. Yeah, that's all you need. All you need to be in a Republican Party is just know how to own the libs. That's it. And it's not that hard. Just say like, oh, you're not taking my guns. Same thing with being on social media. All you have to do is say, stop the steal and own the libs somehow. Just call everybody a stupid snowflake and be like, oh, yeah, that's why the right doesn't, or the left doesn't even know what bathroom to use. You know, ridiculously dumb points like that. Like, Nick Video's got 300k followers, and all he did was like point at text that said Trump 2020. You know, and like, it's not hard. Like, or what? Like, oh yeah, when Joe Biden's socialist agenda gets passed, they're gonna take all our guns. That's un-American. Shall not be infringed. It's like, dude, like, you can't have a complex conversation on, you know what I mean? Like, it's just these list of buzzwords, and that's it. That's all they got. Time zones work in my favor. Yeah, well, I just assumed that, I don't know. I don't know what I assumed. I assumed it started at 9, but it doesn't. I like doing drugs at concerts. I mean, it's not bad, you know. I don't really I don't really partake anymore. Did back in the day. I don't even drink anymore, honestly. Maybe we need to use that to infiltrate the GOP. It's not a bad idea. Conscious Lee, you know, I'm sure you guys know who Conscious Lee is if you're on TikTok, but he made an account where he had a MAGA hat on, but it had a question mark, and he would just say basically all the dumb, ridiculous, conservative talking points, and he got like 40K followers in a month. And then Topher Town Music outed him. But yeah, he would just kind of like walk on screen and be like, huh, Democrats are stupid. Republicans are awesome. Trump 2020. And he's wearing a MAGA hat with a question mark. And they're like, oh yeah, Trump 2020 in the comments. You know what I mean? Like they're totally, not all of them. I'm sure some of them knew it was a LARP. But there was definitely a lot of people that fell for it. How old am I? 32. Like even on my videos on TikTok, I'll get a lot of comments of people thinking like I'm not being sarcastic. Like some of the videos, let's see if we can find it. Which one is it? Like I've gotten especially recently, I've gotten a ton of comments that like think I'm in favor of the thing, like this one. Happy Inauguration Day, everyone. Let me present to you the highest grade cope. Like I'm literally saying like this is them coping, and I'm showing my own tweet that said this is that high dollar cope. And my name is Driven Progressive. Q is dishing out. The plan was enacted over the weekend, only you never saw it. Biden, his cabinet, and tons of both Dems and Republican senators and other officials were arrested. Proof of their vast crimes was shown, and they were court-martialed and found guilty. However, it was decided that this was too much for the American people to accept. Overturning the election and showing the crimes of these politicians could lead to civil war. So an agreement was reached, and Biden and the other deep state elements will be allowed to move freely and serve their terms. President Trump would concede and leave office, but this is all for appearances. Behind the scenes, Donald Trump is still president. This plan is known as Shadow Prez and was seen as a last resort. It's the goddamn dumbest thing in the world, by the way. Anything that happens the next 4 years is actually President Trump's doing. MAGA. Like, I'm talking about it being cope. I'm playing like the goofy, like, oh, this is really dumb, kind of like jokey music. And still, like, every day I get comments. They're like, yeah, that's my president. Thanks for sharing, brother. You know what I mean? It's like this video and like several other videos. What the fuck? No, I don't know him. Spell the name. He might be on my. He's one of my mutuals, so I should be on the list here. He doesn't do the the MAGA thing anymore, but he's still on TikTok. He's like I think he's like a college professor. He's a young guy in Oklahoma. I don't know. He always sounds super smart when he's talking. I don't always agree with him, but I mean, he sounds good doing it. Oh, maybe he's not. It's crazy how like you go through like runs of videos. Like every week on TikTok, I'll have like a different group of people whose videos I'll see, and then the next week it'll like completely change. Weird how that works. Damn it. Oh, getting down here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Let's go. We'll go one more round. One more round. And nope. Not and where beat. There's Claudia. I don't know. Yeah, I tried, man. But it's Conscious Lee. Like, you know, just think like Conscious and then Lee. Dude with dreads, cool guy. Legal, yeah, one of my favorite. I like Legal's videos. He's one of other than like political YouTubers, I don't really like. He's kind of political, but not really. But I don't really watch too many people that aren't like political YouTubers. He's one of the few who's like whose videos I watch all the time. That's about it. Fill of their MAGA hat keeps the water from drowning. Consciously. Like conscious and then Lee. Like consciously. But like the word conscious and Lee. Satire is becoming hard to do without... Yeah, it is. It really is. Like, something you would think is satire, like just like a couple years ago. Like, I remember like a month ago, somebody had a video about how they became like a progressive. And jokingly, I put like, oh, so you got to college, you mean you became like a deep state shill for Soros. You know, like totally joking. And I got like 15 comments of people like, oh, you MAGA people are all the same. Oh, you're so dumb. I've been called a Republican like 40 times this week too. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's hard for people to understand or to get it. Sometimes I don't think maybe I'm not like overtly obvious enough. I wish the media really pushed Trump wishing Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, when he said he wished her well. Yeah. I mean, like you can take a little bit from that. Like I don't think what I never understood about the whole Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, blame the Democrats but not Trump, but it's like if anybody was going to be involved with Epstein, it was Trump, clearly. I mean, even though once he started running for president, he kind of sold him out a little bit. But you can't really sell somebody out unless you know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So he'd been hanging with them for 20 years, said he was a great guy and liked them young. And then he like kind of sells them out in 2016 and all of a sudden he's the savior. Just watched Dogma. Oh, that's a great movie. With a friend over Zoom. Haven't seen it in a decade, it feels. Yeah. No, Dogma, that's a good movie. Yeah. Well, there's no... I mean, we found out that the guy who Jim Watkins, the guy who runs the 8kun board, had been hosting CP on other sites. Like, that was a thing that happened. And they didn't seem to care about that. Or, just in the first place, if you're gonna, like, the easiest place to access terrible things on the internet is those Chan boards, is 8kun. Like, that's where you find that stuff on the internet. Like, I don't even like to go on the Chan boards. I just get, like, anything I want to look at, it gets secondhand, because it's disturbing. Not just, like, on just that stuff, but all the crazy Nazi stuff. It's, not to mention the site's just dumb. But that's where all that stuff hangs out at. So to think that's, like, where, like, all the saviors of the earth are hanging out and trying to, bake these codes into reality is ridiculous on its face. Not to mention if you think about it long enough. You know, there's a lot of good like in like I'm kind of like a more of like a news and like daily events kind of TikToker. Like I talk about policy a little bit. So I kind of like to follow people on TikTok that have like kind of come at things like a little different than I do. There's this one kid named Jonah. He's pretty smart. Then there's what's that guy's name? Max Blaine. Like the ones that like get really deep into like ideology and stuff. I kind of like to check in on those. Anytime I post like a video like that, it gets no views. So I just stopped doing it. Like I posted a video about how Biden could give everyone Medicare for all without passing legislation, and it got like 200 views. And I like set up my camera, filmed it, the whole 9 yards, and it got nothing. Yeah, what's not dark web? The Chan boards aren't dark web, but I mean they ain't good. All right, let's see what we got here. Man, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I have to wait. Is it only on the network? Oh, I'm gonna be salty if it's not. I got that one episode. I bet you, man. Oh, I'll be pissed. I suppose I should have looked into this a little better. Vice, the search for QAnon. YouTube. The thing. Clip. God damn it. Are we beat? Oh shit, boys and girls. I think we might be beat. I was thinking it was gonna come on the damn thing here. Alright, well, shit. Part comes out tomorrow. No, it comes out tonight. Like it says on the thing.
And we are winning.
Like, see, it says right there, January 20. It's on the thing. You can see it on the schedule. It's just, see, it's on right now. What is Q? I don't. Or is it this?
Meet Grammarly Business, a solution to help your entire organization communicate more clearly and professionally.
So are they just showing the same episode 2 nights in a row? I'm gonna be salty if that's the case. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Meet Grammarly Business,
so I think,
a solution to help your entire organization communicate.
I think that's what they did. They showed the same episode 2 nights in a row. Well, god damn it. Yeah, it is a repeat. My guy says it's a repeat. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Well, god damn it. Okay, well, looks like we might have to move this shindig to tomorrow night. Some bitch. Damn, we already been streaming an hour and a half. Well, I did not mean to get y'all's hopes up like that. Shit, new one comes out next week? It says it's a 3-night event. Well, somewhere it said that. 3-night event, Tuesday, 10 p.m. So I think they just, maybe they uploaded that first one on the YouTube last night, and then the other, like, tomorrow night, the night after, and the night after that, or the tomorrow night and the night after that, they're going to show the other 2 episodes. Well, shit. Okay, well, I'm stupid. Freaking libtards not knowing times and stuff. All right, well, yeah, okay, so, but hey, we had fun. We chilled, we talked about music, talked about Kellyanne Conway, we talked about a bunch of other shit, it seems like. But yeah, okay, well, real quick, if you guys could like the stream, I'd really, really appreciate that. Everything, all my links are in the description, like every time, somebody always asks me after the stream, but if you go down in the description, if you want to subscribe to me on Twitch, or if you want to follow me on Twitch, you can join the Discord. You just click the link. They're all in the description of my on the YouTube page. And the same thing on Twitch, like everything, if you want to support the stream, all that is in the About section. So any of that stuff is down in the description. Anything, I always appreciate it, y'all. Much obliged. Yeah, subscribe, leave a like, give me a follow. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much again, always, for hanging out. Ward, thank you for the 100 bits. Yes, part 2 tomorrow. I thought I had the voice thing activated on that. I'm gonna have to check that. It's supposed to say your comment with like a electronic voice. I thought I added that, but I guess not. But yeah, thanks so much, y'all. Love your content, man. Thanks. Yeah, no, thanks you. Thank you, Space Bird. I appreciate it. every single one of you guys. I really, really appreciate it. I'm telling you. Yeah, episode 2 is on the 27th. But yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna bounce out. At least we got a little time. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Everything down in the description, and see you tomorrow night. Peace out.